What is going on, traders? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. Happy Monday to you. Hope you guys are doing well. Let us get right into it as we always do. Market cap currently sits at 184.3 bill. We keep teetering back and forth between 177 and 185 bill on our way to try to break that $200 billion resistance. Bitcoin dominance still over 55%. If we look at the market, it's pretty stagnant, waiting for Bitcoin's next move. And we'll talk about Bitcoin in a second. Ethereum here making a surprise rally, up almost 8% in the last 24 hours, disproportionately to all of the top alts. And oddly enough, Ethereum shorts are still relatively low, although I expect Ethereum shorts to start climbing as this recent price rally here has reared its head. Now, we'll go over Bitcoin in a second, but altcoins, especially priced against BTC, there are some extremely good value buys right now. And especially since a lot of you watching this probably came into crypto late, sometime in 2017, late 2017, buying at the all-time high, you're not used to seeing prices like this. If you look at prices of some of these, and we're talking about top alts, right? So Cardano is a top 10 ranked cryptocurrency. If you look at it right now, it is trading at almost the point that it entered the exchange. Like, this is unreal. Most people bought somewhere here at the all-time high, or falling down from the all-time high, expecting that there would have been a reversal a lot sooner. But we have now crashed all the way down to prices that we've seen these cryptos enter the exchange at, which is unreal. So we have an opportunity to really buy the dips, right? And I am sending out alerts for these long-term holds at these discount prices. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. For the diamond traders and above, you also get access to the stock trade alerts, and you are automatically entered for the 0.03 Bitcoin drawing that I do on the first of every month. So sign up, link is in the description. But yeah, coins like Cardano, if you look, there's a quite lucrative opportunity on storage, a coin which has been volatile and is very impulsive. If you look at storage, it looks like it is potentially on its way to another impulse move. But again, I mean, these are all-time low prices that we see here on these altcoins priced against BTC. All right, looking at Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin, not much has changed since we last looked at it last week. However, it is continuing in this regression channel that you see here, which is, also an ascending channel. The golden cross obviously formed here, and the 50 is diverging away from the 200, which is what you want to see. You want to see the 50 get away from the 200, and eventually you want to see this 100-day moving average in yellow converge with the 200 as well. That will be a bullish sign. However, we might be on the verge of a retracement, and I'm not, saying a crash or a bear market, but a retracement due to the fact that you have higher highs on the price. And if you look at the MACD, you have lower highs on the MACD, and then you also have lower highs on the RSI. This right here is called bearish divergence. Now, what can this bearish divergence do? Well, realistically, we could test, it could just go as far as testing the lower band of this regression channel, right? So if we extend this, and there's a way to do this in TradingView. Oh, extend lines right there. So if you extend this, you can kind of get a sense for where the bottom band and the top band of this regression channel, where these bands lie. If the regression channel continues, obviously it's not going to continue for infinity, but you get a sense for where it can drop off to before this regression channel eventually breaks either to the upside or the downside. But so, due to this bearish divergence that we see here, and if the volume continues to stagnate, right? I mean, we've had steadily increasing volume, but you see as of late, it is, stagnating a bit, which is what you expect to see. Then, the bottom of this regression channel could be somewhere between $5,200 and $5,300. Now, you could break this regression channel entirely, and eventually Bitcoin might want to test the moving averages, right? So the 50-day moving average currently would be around 4,800. And that is also very natural after a move up, especially when a coin or an asset is trying to reverse from a major downtrend, right? Like this over year-long downtrend that we see. it is very natural for it to go back and retest support levels, especially if those levels haven't been retested, right? So you have obviously the major support level here at around 4,100. And, we haven't retested this. It's not a must that we do, but it's very possible that it does. But before that, you have the moving averages that Bitcoin could want to retest. 4,800 for the 50-day, around 4,400 for the 200-day, and then you have the 4,100 major resistance level that has been in place since November, which we broke out of in the beginning of April. If we take a look at the larger time frames, if we're trying to get a sense for whether Bitcoin is bullish or bearish overall, I think there are, over the long term, there are definitely more bullish signs, right? We're currently trading over the 50-week moving average, which it struggled to get above for over a month, and we are now over the 50-week moving average. The MACD is really healthy, curling upwards on the weekly. The RSI has a lot more room to grow before it reaches the levels that it saw back here in 2017. The volume on Bitstamp we're just going to ignore for now because Bitstamp's volume, isn't really representative of Bitcoin's volume at large. Looking at the monthly, this is the 21-month EMA. This has been a solid indicator going, looking at Bitcoin's history going all the way back to 2013. But historically, when Bitcoin is able to overcome the 21-month EMA, then the start of the next bull run usually happens, right? And we just crossed the 21-month EMA in April, and it's looking like May is trading comfortably above the 21-month EMA. You see the MACD, obviously this is the monthly, right? So it moves a lot slower than the oscillators on the shorter time frames, but it's starting to curl up. The RSI is range bound just where you want it because this gives the price a lot more room to grow. So I think in the long run, there are definitely more bullish signs for Bitcoin. Is just in the short term, what is it going to do? Is the extent of the retrace going to be the lower band of the regression channel, or are we going to retest the MAs and even more drastic, retest the major 6 month long resistance at 4,100? That is yet to be seen. I do have a stop limit on my Bitcoin at 5,450 at the moment. I announced that in the Trade Alerts channel, but the reason I have that is because I want this rally. You shouldn't let rallies go wasted, right? Now, if you're a long-term holder and you're just dollar cost averaging, that's fine. You can just hold, keep buying, the dips and just hold. But if you are a swing trader that wants to make most of the swings and profit as much as possible, you want to take advantage of these moves like this. So I have my stop limit set at 5,450. That way, if, Bitcoin drops below that, I exit into USD, protecting my profits. And if it does end up retracing to 4,800, 4,400, or even 4,100, I'm definitely a buyer of Bitcoin at all of those levels. All right, I think I'll leave crypto there for now, and let us jump to the stock market. There's been actually some really good moves we've made in the stock market. And again, if you're a member of the Diamond Traders or above, you get access to the stock alerts as well. All three markets, or all three indices down, all three major indices down at the moment. The Dow down almost 1%, S&P down almost 1%, NASDAQ down over 1%. The reason that this is significant is because we put in a short, and I did send this out on the trade alerts, but we put in a short at the S&P once it hit around the $295 range, just below that, right? Because this has been a major wall, and we're dealing with all-time highs here. And when we talk about all-time highs, this isn't the crypto market, right? We're not talking about all-time highs that go back a couple of years. We're talking about a market that's ancient, over 100 years old in some respects, right? So we're hitting the S&P 500 is hitting the all-time highs that it saw back in September, October of 2018. But there was major bearish divergence between the price, the MACD, the RSI, and the market was definitely showing signs of weakness. To crack this, the market has to show unprecedented and extraordinary strength in order to get above this line, right? So we put in a short around there, and it played out. It was rejected, came back to $290, and it is now trying to go for it again. This 10-month EMA right here, or sorry, 10-day EMA on the S&P 500. This is the SPY, which is the ETF that trades against the S&P 500. But if you look at this is a very tight EMA that we use to try and gauge the S&P's moves, right? And if it keeps getting rejected and falls below the 10-day EMA, as we see here, then we could see a potential retrace as the one that we saw at the end of 2018, when the S&P did in fact hit a bear market, losing 20% or more over a 2-month period. And it obviously rebounded in January until the point that we're at now. So I'll continue to play the swings on the S&P for sure, trading options as well as shorting and potentially longing, depending on what the price action is doing. Other trades that I'm looking at: Tesla, we put in a long position on Tesla as it retested the lower band of the descending broadening wedge that we see here. Tesla actually hit a low that we haven't seen since January 2017. Volume was at a 6-year low. We were oversold on the RSI as well as the MACD. So there was a really good opportunity on Tesla to long here at the bounce of this, the bottom channel of this descending broadening wedge. One more play that I'm looking at before we close out the video is Monster Beverage Corporation. I like this. This is the makers of Monster Energy drink, of course, but I like this stock because it really is volatile. I mean, you don't really see stocks move like this. This looks like, you know, some low-grade cryptocurrency at the moment, but it does provide predictable swings, right? So you see that there's major resistance for Monster Energy drinks at this rectangular level here, and there is an outlier resistance that it hits every so often at this blue line here, right? So you can pretty much, you know, short at these levels with the expected move that it hits at least the yellow line, which is major support, or the yellow rectangle, which is major support. Keep in mind, these are risky moves, and if you don't know what you're doing, I don't recommend you short or even, you know, buy put options or something of that nature. But if you're curious and you want to know the opportunities that present themselves in stocks, I mean, this is what, you know, this is for. This is for educational purposes. And if you know what you're doing, it could provide you with an opportunity that you haven't seen. Uber is IPOing this week, I think on Thursday. I wonder what this is going to do to Lyft's price, right? Because Lyft is the major competitor to Uber, and Lyft did IPO a few weeks ago. Its shares have fallen 15% since the IPO. And in my view, I think once Uber IPOs, Lyft is going to tank. Maybe not tank, but it will drop a few percentage points. So I'll be looking out for a short, or at least, you know, an options play with regards to Lyft and Uber's IPO. All right, that is it for this video. Leave a thumbs up if you got anything out of this video. If you have a question or comment, leave it in the comment section below. If you want access to the trade alerts, or you need help with technical analysis and want one-on-one coaching with me, we do those over video conference. That same link is also in the description. Subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Stay safe out there. Peace.